I recently saw the newest Doctor Strange movie, and I have to be honest, it was incredible. It was a film overflowing with passion, creativity, style, and wit. Sam Raimi is a director known for working within limitations and exceeding the expectations imposed by those limitations. I loved a lot of this movie. Of course it had some problems, but I thought it was of high quality. So I'm sitting in the theater with one of my best friends, Anthony, and we are just delighted the whole time. But the atmosphere of the film was different. Not the movie itself, but the actual theater. It was opening night and we were in a packed house, but a lot of people around us seemed to not enjoy the film. There were points in the movie when people started to clap and make excited villager noises, but for the most part, the audience was quiet. They didn't laugh much, and once the film ended, the conversation seemed to hold a tone of disappointment. We get a really fun end credits scene, and a dude sitting next to us went, "That was it? We waited all that time for that." That phrase sparked this video. I think it's the defining theme behind it. I'm not going to spoil any of the specific cameos, twists, turns, or chuckles in Doctor Strange 2, but if you want to go in absolutely blind, this may be your stop. Here's the issue. There is a portion of the audience that no longer wants good movies. They want events. They want to clap and cheer and see cameos and lose their mind when their favorite character says a millennial-style quip or does something epic. Doctor Strange 2 didn't have that. There is barely any cameos, very few MCU-style quips or MCU-style humor, and hardly anything traditionally epic. I've read a number of complaints online about how this film is a total letdown because Guy with the Glasses 34 didn't get to see his favorite character in the movie. I want to read off a tweet and a few reviews that I've seen encapsulate this mindset. They shouldn't have hyped it that much, and if there were not that many cameos, then what was the reason to show 3 to 4 just in trailers? And if they knew that the movie is hyped, then why didn't they just add some prominent cameo, redacted suggestion, etc. for people's satisfaction? This movie was okay. That's it. Just okay. There weren't that many cameos in the movie, and the cameos were so short and very underwhelming except one. No spoilers. Very underwhelming result for so much hype and expectations with little to no connection to past movies. And I think this review is maybe the best of the lot. Does not pay tribute to Marvel. This was so disappointing to see Disney go this direction. Waste of money. For those with kids, definitely inappropriate for kids, from the meaningless scenes of random gore to the almost horror-like scenes with the Scarlet Witch. I have never not liked a Marvel film before, and am a true fan. This will be my first time giving a review in this regard. Telltale signs of a great film is when everyone claps at the end. No one clapped, and most everyone left at the end early and did not stay for the end scenes. At no point in these comments is the integrity of story considered. All that is considered is how much the audience gets to clap and cheer like a bunch of baboons.
Building is up to...
Fuck it! Let's just talk about
all of the cameos in Multiverse of Madness.
Ghost Rider, Huge Jackman, Tom Cruise as Iron Man OMGGGGGGGG,
Magneto Old, and Magneto Young.
It's Morgan Time Morbius baby.
I'm gonna come!
What about other versions of Doctor Strange that could help move his character arc in a unique and interesting direction that ties with the overall theme of how far someone will go to make themselves happy?
Because that is not as cool as seeing Wesley Snipes jumping out of a portal as Blade to save the day, you dumb bitch.
They'd rather Peyton Reed direct Doctor Strange 2 and include a cameo every 10 minutes. Not even most people hate this movie from what I've seen. There are a lot of Marvel and MCU fans that have loved this movie, or have had criticisms not with the lack of cheer-worthy moments, but with the story and characters. And that I can certainly respect, even if I disagree. However, a significant portion of the viewership of this film has a problem with the lack of cameos, and Marvel keeps listening to and enabling this portion of the fan base. At some point, we're going to get a Rise of Skywalker moment, where instead of the film being written by Reddit, the biggest Avengers film is going to be written by these monkeys, and it's going to be cameo after callback after reference after epic moment, and it's going to stink. I rarely make up my mind about movies before they happen, but when this shit inevitably happens, I can say with certainty it will be a 2-pack of ass.
They called me a madman. And what I predicted came to pass.
Congratulations, you're a prophet.
I'm a survivor.
I'm not even anti-cameo or anti-fun, like hell. I lost my composure at seeing Toby in No Way Home, like that was really cool for me. The difference is that I don't want every movie to be like that. Most movies shouldn't be full of cameos and things to make the audience go, I remember that.
Look, our technology is advanced.
I can help you. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
A rare, fun cameo that doesn't detract from the story can be a nice way to show the audience that you as a filmmaker care about them. But making a film of just cameos, quips, and the stuff that Marvel has gotten consistent flack over the last 14 years shows that they don't respect the audience, and that they think you were a bunch of baboons. Sam Raimi does not think you were a baboon. And maybe we're trending towards a general audience that only wants cameos and quips. Phase 2 and Phase 3 was the era of the fan theory. This was a harmless era where people weren't really demanding things but more so speculating about what would happen to certain characters and how they would progress and if we would see them take on untouched alter egos. Some of the popular theories turned out to be true, such as Loki sacrificing himself and Thanos killing Vision for the Mind Stone, while others weren't true, and for the most part fans were fine with their theories being wrong. The most speculation that we got about cameos or certain characters joining the MCU was Nova and Adam Warlock, and one of those was literally teased in an end credits scene, so I don't blame fans for expecting or wanting that one. Now that we've completed a massive overarching story, we are starting fresh. There is a portion of fans that have taken this as an opportunity to complain and speculate about their favorite character that hasn't been introduced into the MCU yet. I was way too present in the Discord about WandaVision because that's one of the few MCU shows that I actually watched while it was coming out. And dear God, if I ever hear the word Mephisto again, I'm throwing myself in front of a train. I don't even know how much of the blame Marvel fans can get because the MCU is feeding this shit with their emphasis on the reveal villain. WandaVision had it with Agatha, Falcon and the Winter Soldier had it with the Power Broker, Loki had it with He Who Remains, and Hawkeye had it with Kingpin. No wonder people are speculating and demanding cameos because Marvel is trying to feed them an unbalanced diet of coom and nostalgia. But Marvel is also fueled and encouraged to go in this direction because this subsection of the fandom is incredibly loud. It's a cycle where both parties feed onto themselves while the rest of us just have to watch on the sidelines. Fans endlessly speculate about the unseen villain. Marvel is then encouraged to keep doing unseen villains because it generates hype and discourse. This mindset then starts to bleed into the films, and fans start to expect cameos and reveals in the films. Marvel is then encouraged to keep doing this shit in the films because of the hype and discourse that comes with it. It's a never-ending cycle of hype and discourse, and they've already done it with No Way Home, a movie filled with nostalgia bait and coomer shit, and I really enjoyed No Way Home, so I can't say much. But even my public enjoyment of the film and contribution to the discourse feeds this bad mindset that Marvel is developing. It also sucks that movies like Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Black Widow were not good and received mixed critical and audience reception because those three movies are relatively sparse in terms of callbacks, references, and cameos. Yes, there is some, but nowhere near the level of No Way Home or what people were expecting of Multiverse of Madness. Marvel may associate that mixed reception and lukewarm discourse with the lack of fanboy bait, and that sucks. I don't want Marvel movies to be like that. I'm a fan of comics. I own a whole shelf of comics. Hell, I just read Batman Cult pretty recently and I really enjoyed it. But I don't want whatever this subsection of the fandom wants, and I beg and hope Marvel starts to move away from trying to placate them. Doctor Strange 2 has a few cameos, but that wasn't satisfying enough for these people. It's literally the if you give a mouse a cookie book, but in real life. If you give an MCU Coomer a cameo, they'll want Deadpool and the entire X-Men in the next Ant-Man film. The audience that I was with didn't even enjoy the jokes of the film because it wasn't the style they were accustomed to. Raimi's patented delightful cheese fell on deaf ears in my theater besides me and my friend Anthony. Me and him were only 2 of maybe 10 people laughing in our nearly sold out showing. The audience didn't even enjoy a lot of the moments that I found really unique and cool just because it wasn't the traditional epic hero stuff. I've seen a lot of these goobers online complaining that the title Multiverse of Madness implies that there's going to be cameos out the ass. A multiverse movie is a sandbox. It allows the filmmaker the opportunity to do anything with it.
I think that what Michael Waldron tried to do was bring in those parts that were meaningful to the characters in our story. Who should Doctor Strange meet in the multiverse that would be the most interesting? And I think Michael's answer is other versions of himself. If he had made certain choices in our world, he would have been those people.
Everything Everywhere All at Once goes balls to the wall with its multiverse concept, but that isn't what stuck with me at the end. It was the refutation of nihilism and the power of love in a meaningless world. That was the main idea that lasted with me and what made it my #1 movie of the year so far. Am I thinking about the Illuminati scene a few days after watching Doctor Strange 2? Not really. I'm mostly pondering the question, am I happy? That's great filmmaking. I want Marvel to do what they did with Doctor Strange 2. Focus on making good stories and allowing directors to shine within a big universe. Doctor Strange 2 was awesome, and I hope Marvel learns the right lessons from the audience feedback. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your opinions in the comments down below. If you want a more traditional review of Doctor Strange 2, let me know, but I honestly felt compelled to make a video like this first. If I end up not making a traditional review of Doctor Strange 2, I'll tell you right now that I give it an 8 out of 10 and that I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is my #2 MCU film of all time. Lastly, I didn't really have a good spot in the video to talk about this, but a lot of weird parents have crawled out of the woodworks to complain about how this movie is demonic and turned their son or daughter into a homosexual that works at the gay factory. If you want to have a good time, scroll through audience reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and you'll find a score of Kevin's and Karen's complaining because their child experienced something that wasn't stale white bread. Gotta love the comeback of the satanic panic, am I right? Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and farewell.